Hey guys, welcome back. So in this one I'm going to be exploring and having a look at some of the extras that we missed during the Outlast 2 demo in parts 1, 2 and 3. Now guys, I have unfortunately had to censor some of the more graphic and explicit material out, but I have done this to an absolute minimum as possible, so you can kind of make your own minds up of what's going on behind the censors. And whilst I understand that the game is an 18 plus, YouTube is not 18 plus, and the last thing I want to be getting is a strike or a ban, because that won't do any of us any good. However, I will be releasing the video again uncensored for all you guys who were able to view it. So again, I'm really sorry, but I just hope you guys can understand why I've had to do it like this. But let's get cracking, and one of the things that we didn't look at was the camera that Blake uses, and on top of the lens, in very small print, is the name Carl Zeiss. And I know that sounds daft me saying it like that, but I think that's how it's pronounced. But you're never going to see that name normally. Now Carl Zeiss is quite a significant name when it comes to lenses, as he founded the company Zeiss back in 1846, and they develop all sorts of things like microscope lenses, binoculars, and of course camera lenses. So it's pretty cool that his name is on the front of the camera. And the other thing that caught my eye about this camera was this text right near the front at the screen, and it says superior audio manufactured by Spatlin, who I believe is a made up company, but clearly they are the best company in the world. And it's also cool that if I just spin the camera around, the screen is constantly recording. Whoa, kind of looks like a giant from all the way down here. Alright guys, so it looks like we're on the move, and so we might as well go back into the head view. And let's go and take a look at something else. And one of the other things that we missed, which is just a general thing really, it's nothing too special, is what we look like when we get inside a barrel. So there's the animation of us getting inside. Let's go and take a peek through this hole, and yeah, pretty standard really. He's just kind of crouched down inside the barrel. Let's take a look at what it looks like if we're popping out the top. Kind of looks weird without a head, but same kind of thing really. One of the comments I got from part 1 was from Dylan Gibson, who said, why didn't you check out the door that knocks back at you? And it's a very good point, Dylan. Mainly because I totally forgot that door was there until I read your comment. So thank you very much for getting in touch. Let's go and take a look at what's behind the door right now. Just change the battery over in my camera so it doesn't run out. And let's go and take a look behind the door. Alright, so when I first came into this room, I was a little bit disappointed. It looks like there's nothing in here other than this bit of floor that sticks through the floorboards, which doesn't really make for good viewing. But when I moved the camera up to the top corner and spun it round, check it out guys, there's this box in the room that we couldn't see when we were inside it, because you can only see the box from one side, as we've seen before in part 1, 2 and 3, where you can only see certain textures from one side. Now, I have seen stuff like this before in games where developers use a generic box to represent something that's going to be added into the full game. So, say for instance you get out of the map into an unrendered DLC area that hasn't yet been released. They may use just a box to represent a laptop that's going to be used in some sort of animation sequence or something like that. So it could be that that box behind that door is going to be replaced by a character once the full game's released. It'll be interesting to see that once it comes out. Anyway, moving on, did you ever wonder where this guy ran off to? Well, I did, and I tried several times to keep up with him, but he always got away from me. He's done it again. He's got away from me. Let's start that again. Alright, so did you ever wonder where this guy went? Well, I'm going to show you, because I'm going to get the camera behind him before I move towards him. So here we go, I'm slowly walking up to him, and he's backing off and backing off. And there he goes, he's gone behind the house. I thought he'd have disappeared by now actually. I suppose the faster you run, there he goes, the faster you run towards him, the quicker he disappears behind the house. One of the main things that got people talking about part 1, and especially in the comment sections I got a lot of feedback, which is awesome, is this book that we found in the house. Now this book features in various different locations in the demo, but I thought what I'd do is go away and do a little bit of research into this after part 1. And I found out that some of the pages are actually from the Old Testament of the Bible. Now, this page, which I'm going to call page 1, just on the left, is actually a calendar, and that's in Polish, I believe. Listopad means November in English, so I'm still not too sure about all the writing in it. If someone wants to translate it, they can have a look at that themselves. But there's page 1, page 2, page 3, and then page 4 on the right. They're the only pages that you can see. Now, page 3 turns out it's just a copy of page 4, but in reverse. So the only one we're interested in is the hidden page, which is page 2. And here it is, guys. I've managed to put it together. So it turns out that the Outlast 2 version has the wrong title for some reason, and it also has the wrong page number, which is 264. It also has part of the page before that from the Old Testament on this page, and also part of it missing. So I'm not sure why they didn't just copy the page across. They've also spelt Psalm wrong. Now, I don't know whether the developers have done that on purpose, but they've spelt it with an E. It'd be quite interesting to find out if that was just a genuine mistake or whether they did that on purpose. I'm not saying a developer will be watching this, but if you do, please let me know. It'd be great to find out. And of course, if any of you guys have any further information, then please feel free to leave a comment. One of the things that I showed you in one of my earlier Outlast 2 demo videos was how to get to this barn that's located just outside the map. And once we're inside, we find that we can activate an animation scene where Marta, I think she's called Marta, she appears at the door. She's the one who chops you off with a big axe. But we need to climb up this ladder first. So what I'm going to try and do is take a closer look at that animation scene. So, in the other video I showed what you need to do. You kind of walk forward and eventually you fall through the floor. And again, as you can see, the textures on the floor are just the checkered boxes, which is kind of again like an animation scene thing. They seem to appear where the animations happen. So here it is, we fell through the floor and we're kind of crawling along looking for our glasses. And then we stand up. And check it out. She's at the door. Alright, so I suppose the first thing we notice once she appears at the door and you can take a look is that she's pretty damn tall. Like if I go back into the head cam and walk up to her, let's do that now. Like you literally have to look up to see her face. So she's a good foot taller than yourself. But let's go and take a look inside her head, because I'm quite interested to see what she looks like really close up. One thing I've noticed is she's not really smiling, but let's go beyond the mouth and go into... Oh my god! Check them gnashes out! Ooh! They are evil! She needs to clean her teeth. I know she doesn't smile that much, but come on. Alright, so we're inside her head, and pretty much the usual thing for the characters in Outlast 2. They've got a tongue, and you can see the back of the teeth and the gums there, and the eyes glowing from the inside. But one thing I've found with Marta, which is different from other characters, is this hood that's over her head. We can actually get in between the hood and her head, and if you look at her head, she's bald at the back. She only has that bit of hair that's at the front of her head. Now you'll have to excuse my camera work here, guys. It's really difficult to get it to sort of show in between the two layers of a hood and a head. It's kind of hard to get that position right. But there we go. I can see her ears, and the back of her head is just bald. But as we've done with all the characters in the Outlast 2 series, let's go down and take a look. And obviously, she's got a hollow body. That's no surprise there. Most of the characters do. But she has got legs. Now, she is wearing a skirt, and obviously, all the other characters in it have been pretty much male. So that's... Oh my god. Look away, Link. I cannot believe what I have just seen. Did I really just see that? Holy crap. That... I have never seen that in a game before. Never. Now, I'm not saying that is fully detailed, but there's definitely a hint of, well, you know what I'm talking about. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's definitely there. She's got a, oh my god! I can't believe I'm seeing this, but that is attention to detail, guys. Wow. I mean, I kind of expected something to be there, just like a lower part of a body or torso, just a flat piece or something, but not quite with the same minor details that had. But anyway, let's move on from that and take a look at her axe, which chops you off at the end of the demo. And again, it's kind of hollow, and to be honest, it looks kind of blunt, that axe. It looks like it would just smash your face in rather than do any cutting. But there you go, guys, that's a close-up of Marta. Another thing I thought I'd show you whilst we're over this way outside the map is what happens to these three characters once they've chased you around outside these houses. And if you don't know what I'm doing right now or how to get here, then again, I will leave a link in the description so you can click that and check out how you can get out here yourselves. But here they are. Once you've hidden away and they've lost sight of you, they all come to the same house and they stand in a triangle, and as you can see, they are pretty much the same character. And again, that's not unusual for developers to duplicate the same characters because it's a lot easier. Now, at this point, I had no intention of even including this in the video, but I was just messing around outside the map and I came over to the church to see if I could get as close as possible. And I fell down the map a little bit, but I didn't fall off the edge of the map. And in the distance, I could see something shining right over there. So I tried to jump off the map, and then I moved the camera whilst I was falling, and I could see it in the distance there. So I'm going to zoom in with the camera, and you hear my character splash in the water. But here it is. This is what I could see right off in the distance, and it's actually a model of the school air conditioning units that we crawl through later on in the demo. So I thought it'd be pretty cool if I showed you this just as something that's outside the map. Now, it is quite well known that in the Outlast 2 demo there is water based underneath the map. In fact, it pretty much covers the whole of the underneath the map, no matter which section of the demo you are in. And there's been quite a few videos on this showing you how you can drop in there and swim around. But what I thought you might never have seen before is this. And it's Blake swimming in a third-person view. Now, he does only have one arm at this point, because if you remember from other videos, we showed that when we get the camera out, he has got a broken arm, or what looks like a broken arm. But his arm totally disappears when we're swimming, and he's doing pretty well. He's going forward there. I mean, he's not going very fast, and he's not kicking his legs very well, to be honest. But this isn't the Olympics, guys. This is Outlast 2, and anything will do to get away from the enemies. So you guys who saw part 2 of this mini-series that I'm doing will remember that we checked out this shadow of the demon that pops up behind us in the corridor later in the demo and throws us down the corridor. We're going to be checking out that shadow just a little bit closer in a moment. But first of all, I just want to give a bit of a shout out to Mr. Meeseeks, who sent me a comment after I posted part 2, and the comment's up on the screen there, and he kind of noticed that there was something going on a little bit strange in the background of this corridor. Now, I edited the video and I didn't even notice it, so I had to check it out for myself, and he's right, it does look like the demon was having, well, he was having a jolly good time to himself. But at that point, I just thought it must just be a funny camera angle or something. He's that many arms waving around, but you can see it yourself, guys. He does look like he's having his own little dagger fight. I don't know what you guys are thinking, you dirty-minded people. But on a serious note, I mean, that is just kind of weird, because you'd never really see that in the game, obviously, because the shadow moves so fast past you that you wouldn't even notice that or pick up on it. But anyway, moving on. Another thing that we missed when we were in this corridor is this on the demon. And, I mean, it's just something else that the developers have put in, and it's great attention to detail, but you'd never see these whilst you're even in the game, because it's all happens so quickly when the demon jumps out and grabs you. In fact, I'm going to show you that in frame by frame just to show you how quick this goes past, and I'm going to slow it down as much as I can and go frame by frame. So here we go, frame 1, frame 2, and that is it. That is slowed down as much as I can possibly do. So there we go, guys. I think that's enough nudity for one video. Let's move on to something else, and we're going to enter the house where the guy throws us down the stairs, and we're going to take a look at a few of the death scenes that we've not even looked at. Now, when I was making part 3, which is where we're up to, where we were up to at this point, we never really looked at any of the death scenes in the video. So I thought what I'd do is point out from the very basic death scenes that we go through to the more complex ones where there's a bit more animation to them. So the first one we're going to have a look at is where we get punched in the face and die from it for some reason. I'm not quite sure why we die at that, but it's fair enough. We shouldn't get caught in the first place, I guess. But here it is. So we get punched in the face, dropped to the floor. I suppose he could have knocked you out. You never really know, and then killed you afterwards. The next one we're going to take a look at is the kick to the face, which is the same principle. We're going to hide under the table and get a boot to the face. So let's take a look at that one. Here he comes. Pow! Wow. And you might have noticed that I am trying to speed this up a little bit because I want to get through a few of them, but I don't want the video dragging on too much. This one's a little bit more complicated. It drags us out from under the table, so let's take a look at that. Let's get the camera in a good position so we can see this. Oh, we actually kneel up before he grabs hold of us. That's kind of weird. And there we go. Let's take a look at what happens when we get too close to the hooded guy who's hacking the body to pieces. Wow, this is a bit more like it. A bit more gruesome. Alright, let's take a look at that in a third person view. So, here we go. Right, so slowly walking up to him. Oh, hey up! We've been grabbed from behind. Oh! That is pretty nasty. Hey, where's he going? I'm going to rewind that. How weird was that, guys? He's just kind of stabbed me, got stuck in a position, let's slow it down, and then floated off. And he looks like he's going up the stairs. That is really weird. I didn't even realise that was going to do that. Let's try it again. See if we can get the hooded guy to kill us. There we go. Looking kind of... Oof. What a way to go, eh? Ooh! Pretty cool stuff. One last go at that one. And you might have noticed there, guys, that when I got captured by the guy in the hood, the guy behind us actually disappears. I'm going to slow that down. You can see him in the background there. As soon as the animation happens from when the hooded guy stands up, he actually disappears. And I think what must have happened before is I've timed it just right that both of them try to execute me at the same time. And that's why the game glitched out. Moving on, one thing we did in part 3 was take a look at certain different angles of the death scene at the end of the demo, but in this one I'm going to get right up close and personal to show you guys what it looks like having your cut off, and that is horrendous. It really does. Oh my god, it looks so bad from this camera angle. Guys, listen, you look after yourselves out there. If you do see Marta in the street, then just run. Do not go near her. And that applies to girls too, because you never know. Anyway, in part 3, we did have a little bit of a competition to see who could guess where this screenshot was taken. And well done to FNOPRX, who was the first to guess correctly. It was actually the title screen. And I think the shadow gave it away a little bit. That was a bit of a clue to where it was. So check it out, guys. We're going to fly into the background of the menu screen and take a look around inside here. And this is pretty awesome. Check this out. This is like it looks like a dead dog or something like that. The skeleton. Really detailed model. This is so cool. Flying inside the menu screen. I've only done this on a couple of other games actually. One of them wasn't even flying. We actually managed to glitch into the menu screen, and it was with help from one of my viewers who told me how to do it. It was on the game The Long Dark. I have got a video of that if you want to check it out, but it was pretty cool because we could get into places that you would never see on the title screen, but we were exploring them by glitching into that. And the other, believe it or not, is Mario 64, which I have got an up and coming video of real soon. It was the original Nintendo 64 version that I managed to get this fly cam working, so we're exploring some of the areas in that as we speak, really. I'm still making that video, but definitely stay tuned if you're enjoying me using these fly cams and exploring secret areas in the games. Then we're going to be doing a lot more of this stuff on Slippy Slides, so stay tuned. And if you do have any suggestions, feel free to put games forward that you want to see this done on, and I will try and look into those. So just above us is the checkered floor that we could see, and that's where I took the screenshot from. There's the shadow of the dead dog or whatever it is that's lying on the floor, and that's just proof that that was taken there. Sadly, that is it for the Outlast 2 demo, guys. I really hope you've enjoyed all 4 parts. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit that notification bell for future notifications on my videos, because remember, Outlast 2, the full game, is just around the corner, and I for one cannot wait for this one. It is going to be awesome. In the meantime, join me here for more gaming videos, and also feel free to join me on Twitter and Instagram to get regular updates on the channel of what's happening behind the scenes at Slippy Slides. But for now, as always, take care and stay slippy, bros.